If you're looking to get your first Airbnb property, watch this course until the end. This course will help you to get your first Airbnb property. And also to mention, I've added some bonuses to those people who stick around until the end. See you on the inside. So before we start the course, I would like you to grab a pen and paper because what we're about to go through is valuable content. So the modules are broken down into 7 phases. So phase 1 will be introduction to Airbnb Arbitrage. Phase 2 will be Airbnb business setup. Phase 3 will be market analysis and deal finding. Phase 4 will be Airbnb property setup. Phase 5 will be Airbnb listing and marketing. Phase 6 will be Airbnb operations. Phase 7 will be Airbnb scaling. Okay, let's jump on to the first phase. First phase is introduction to Airbnb. The checkpoints we're going to go through here are like 4 to 5 checkpoints. Checkpoint number 1 being is what is actually Airbnb arbitrage. Other people call it rent to rent. Other people call it serviced accommodation, short-term rentals, short-term lets, all these kind of names. It all comes down to one thing, one name and one strategy. Why actually do Airbnb arbitrage? Number 3 is who can do this strategy, who can do Airbnb arbitrage. And number 4 is how can you do it? How can you do Airbnb arbitrage? Last one being is it actually illegal or it's legal? Okay, let's get into the definition. What is Airbnb arbitrage or serviced accommodation, short-term rental? So this is a real estate property strategy in which you lease a property from a landlord with contracts and agreements from the landlord. With that property, you will let it out on a nightly basis, exactly as how hotels do it. Because this property will have hotel-like amenities, it will have hotel-like equipment, hotel-like furniture. So you actually list it on a nightly basis, exactly like hotels. However, this could be a house, this could be an apartment, this could be a flat, this can be a caravan, shed, houseboat, or even a tent. As you can see in the picture, in London, someone in their living room are actually letting out tents on Airbnb, and they're making money from that. In this course, we're not going to be doing tents. We're actually going to be focusing on houses and apartments. But if you've got a unique feature in your back garden, like a shed, a tree house, like other people do let it out. So check out those features on Airbnb and you see what other people actually rent out on a nightly rate and they charge ridiculous sums of money for it. So why actually do Airbnb arbitrage? So this strategy has high cash income, compared to traditional single family homes, traditional buy-to-lets, so this actual strategy is got a high cash flow because don't forget, you're charging someone on a nightly rate. So if you're charging them £150 or £100 in 30 nights, that's actually £3,000, compared to someone paying fixed rent every 30 days, so this one is got a high cash flow income. That's why a lot of people are attracted to it, and that's why a lot of people do it. The other benefit of this strategy is the capital which you need to start off this is very low. So it's a low capital intensive strategy to start it off. You just need capital to pay your monthly rent, your bills, your furniture, etc. So it's mainly like setup cost. Whereas if you're buying a property, you need deposit, you need stamp duty, you need to pay solicitors, you need to pay mortgage brokers, you need to refurb the property. So it will be like a lot of money which is needed compared to when you're actually buying a property. So who can do this strategy? Anyone can do this strategy. So anyone with the desire to make an extra income online, utilizing the current opportunities on this marketplace, because there are a lot of opportunities and anyone can actually do this strategy. So if you actually dedicate some time, if you've got the right mindset, you've got the right attitude and you're willing to learn and most importantly, take action, you can actually do the strategy. It doesn't matter if you're working a 9 to 5, you can find time to do this strategy, and it works. Whatever job situation you're in, whatever situation you're in, anyone can do this strategy. So how can I do Airbnb strategy? How can you do Airbnb strategy? 4 simple steps. Find the property, furnish the property, advertise, and start welcoming guests. I mean, if it was easy as that, there would be no need for this course. But however, there are some extra steps, some extra details which are needed. But the principles are still the same. You find the property, you dress up the property to very nice spec, and you advertise it. And advertising it, this is where like the likes of Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia, other booking platform where someone can see the property and book it. Then after that, someone will book it and you start welcoming guests. So obviously, when you're now welcoming guests, you're now operating like as a hotel, how a hotel treat people. So the customer service which you need is hotel-like customer service. So we're going to go into phase 2. So in phase 2, there are 3 checkpoints we're going to discuss here. So checkpoint number 1 being setting up a limited company. So this course is mainly UK focused, but you can do this Airbnb arbitrage anywhere in the world. So anywhere where you are, you will have to set this up as a business, not as a side hustle. So there are 2 different things, because if it's a side hustle, in terms of your taxes, etc., it's not clear. So if it's actually a business, you will have a business account, you will have insurances, you will have licenses. So so those are the checkpoints we're going to cover. So checkpoint number 1 is setting up your limited company. So setting up a limited company is you go to like the website, the www.gov website, and there are actually 7 simple steps which you follow there for you to register a company. But before you register your company, just double check that the name you've chosen is not already registered. Otherwise, you will be duplicating information and you might cause your company to be declined. So double check that. If you're thinking of registering ABC short-term rentals, just check if ABC short-term rental has been taken by someone. If it's not, then that company is good to go. Register it. There are like some C codes which you need to follow. For the C codes, is you just like search it, service accommodation or real estate rental C codes. Everything is on Google. It will come up and you can use those C codes. You can register up to like 2 or 3 C codes. And that's it. Your company will be set up. But if you think it's too complicated or it's a hassle, there are accountants who usually do this for you. They will charge about 100 or 200 pounds. But if you're competent enough, you can do it yourself. It is actually simple. I've registered many companies myself. It will cost you like 12 or 15 quid if you register yourself. So once you set up your company, the next thing which you need to do is set up your licenses and insurances. So if you live in Scotland, which we operate in Scotland and England, so in Scotland, there is a licensing scheme which was introduced in October 2023. So every serviced accommodation, short-term rental, holiday let, Airbnb operator needs to have a license from the authority, from the local authorities and the local councils. So you apply for a license, they grant you that license, and you operate your Airbnb. So if you're operating without a license, that's an illegal operation. It's not allowed. It's outside the law. So you are actually being robbed. You are actually being dodgy. So if you live in Scotland, you have to apply for a license. However, if you are in England, this licensing thing hasn't come to England yet. So our properties in England, we don't have a license. So we just operate just like that. But because of we are aware of the licensing situation in Scotland, so we started to make the properties in England compliant with the questions which they've been asking in Scotland, like making sure like everything is fire safety regulated, all this kind of stuff, like just in case a guest has got an injury, if there's fire in your property, all this, just to be fire doors, fire alarms, smoke alarms, just make sure you've got all those things, like fire blankets, all that kind of stuff. And these things are simple. You can actually search with your local authority, or you can actually benchmark with what a house of multiple occupants have in their properties. So if it's a house of multiple occupants, also known as HMOs, they need to have fire doors, smoke alarms, and all those things. So those are the things which are being cascaded down to Airbnbs as well. And there will be regulations coming up in the near future for these strategies. So just be aware of that. It's not out there in England, but just be aware it's gonna creep up soon. So also have your insurances, your public liability insurance. Go to a website called Simple Business and search for public liability insurance, indemnity insurances, and you can have these in your businesses. It's not 100% mandatory. Other people do operate without these insurances, but like if you're running a business, you just want to cover yourself and you want to have everything sorted just in case there are these things which happen in your property. There is death, there's an accident, you just want to be covered. So I highly recommend and I highly advise you get these insurances and licenses if licenses are required where you are. So Airbnb has got this thing called air cover for host. So it covers you up to, I don't know, about 1 million or something, if there's any damages up to that. But so if a guest goes into your property, they steal something, they damage something, they break something, Airbnb will cover you for that. So for you to actually make sure you are paid, so whatever you buy, you must keep the receipts, because once something bad happens, Airbnb will ask for proof of purchase, proof of receipt. So if you bought something secondhand and on marketplace, etc., and you don't have a receipt or invoice, even if a guest damages, they won't pay you on that. But if it's other things and you've got proof of purchase, they will pay you. If a guest has trashed your property, you get a contractor to give you a court invoices, check pictures before and after, you've got evidence which you can provide, Airbnb will pay you imminently for the damages. So this is actually a good thing which Airbnb provides. However, it's only Airbnb who provides this. So platforms like Booking.com, platforms like Expedia, and all these other platforms, VRBO, they don't give these types of insurances. They expect you to take a deposit from a guest. So it's worth it to have external insurances, like insurance which can cover like your furniture, etc. So there are companies which give these kind of insurances just in case, like you've taken a deposit, but a guest damages something worth more than the deposit you've taken. You can make a claim with your insurance company. So yeah, insurances are not cheap, but they're worth it when the time comes, because these things do happen. So don't let anyone lie to you, say everything is rosy. No, things do happen in this business. But yes, let's crack on. So the next step is how to set up your business bank account. So with the business bank account, you could either go to like the mainstream banks, like these are called the high street banks, the likes of your big banks like Barclays, HSBC, Santander, etc. Or you could go to the challenger banks, the quite small banks, which you open an account in 2.5 minutes and you get your card the next day in the post. So personally, I've got 2 business accounts. So one for income, so that's with a challenger bank, and the other one is for outgoings, so for everything going out. So the one for outgoings, we normally use a card called American Express, because if you use an American Express, you actually get points as well with American Express. So with those points, you could use them for holidays, flights. That's why you see a lot of these business operators fly first class, business class. 9 times out of 10, they've used their American Express points. So that's a good tip for you. So you can actually set up. So you could, either way, you are going to pay those expenses. So why don't you pay those expenses and get points for them? To me, it's a no-brainer. Or rather, pay the expenses and get the points. You can pay any expenses from bills. You can pay your cleaners, housekeepers, maintenance team, everything using your Business American Express card. There are ways to do that. Yeah. Then for the money which is coming in, you can have a separate card. So that actually makes it easier for your accountant or for your bookkeeper who's doing the books, because they see the money coming in for the bookings. Then if you've got other clients you're managing for, you could actually have a third bank account. But how you do this is entirely up to you and like the accountant you've chosen to work with. But whether you've got one or two, but just make life easier for you, because once you start getting busy, you just want to be have streamlined systems and processes in place. So accounting and invoicing processes are very crucial. You don't want to be wasting time, or you don't want to have a virtual assistant wasting time in these things when you could have set it up the right way from the word go. Okay, we finished phase 2. So the next phase we're going to go into is phase 3. So phase 3, we're going to talk about market analysis and deal finding. There are 4 or 5 checkpoints we're going to go through here. So the first checkpoint is being location, gold mine area. So as the name says, location and gold mine area. Second one is best websites for market research. The other one is best websites to find property deals. The other one is landlords and lettings agents. We're going to speak about property viewings. We're also going to speak about deal analysis. So let's go to the first thing. Before we proceed, I just want you to make 2 decisions. The first decision is choose your location. So choose the location which you want to operate in. So I usually advise choosing a location which is either the city or town you live in, or 1 hour away, especially if it's your first property. 1 hour away, because you can easily get to the place. Or even if it's less, like 30 minutes away, it's even better. You can easily get to it when there's something which has happened, and it's easy to manage if you're self-managing. The next thing you want to choose is the guest profile. What I mean by guest profile is, with your strategy, Airbnb is broad as well. It's exactly like hotels. Hotels, you get a 1-star hotel, 2-star hotel, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. Obviously the 5-star are the high-end hotels, which attract luxury people because they pay more money for luxury. Then the 2, 3, 4-star, 2, 3 are usually budget hotels, which like other holiday makers on a budget go to, like companies, businesses, they can book for their employees to go stay in those hotels. So with service accommodation as well, you could actually identify your guest profile, the type of people you think you want to work with, and the type of properties you want to look for. So if you want to look for high-end properties, so obviously the high-end properties need to be in a high-end location, city center, could be penthouses, all this kind of stuff, but you don't get a high-end property in a crime-infested area or in an area which is bad, etc., So those are the 2 things which you need to identify: location and your guest profile. We go for a hybrid. So we go for contractors, so people coming into the city to work, to do all these kind of jobs like construction. And we also go for holiday makers, because our properties attract those kind of both people. They are suited and they are nice. Like if it was a hotel, I'll say they're 4-star. They're not 5-star. They're not luxurious where there's velvet everything. No, they're like 4-star, and contractors can stay there and holiday makers can stay there. So that's the hybrid model which we go for. Okay, so when it comes to location, we've spoken about choosing a location which is within 1 hour from you or the place which you currently live in, which is if it's a good city or a good town and you've done research and there are Airbnbs, I'll say use that, because that's the model which works, But before you actually do anything further, there are 3 things which you can test. So for you to test if this city is good enough and if there is traction, if there is traffic, is just simple do a Google search, and in that Google search, just type hotel developments. Because I live in Glasgow, so I will type hotel developments in Glasgow and see what's in Glasgow, which companies are building hotels, like all this. This is public information. It's readily available on the internet. Another one, which is I'll type in property developments in Glasgow, so you can see where they are, like construction. So if there's lots of construction in your city, if like someone is building, if a developer is building 200, 1,000 homes in that particular city, trust me, that city is booming. Believe it or not, there will be people coming in for work from other cities, from other countries, So if you look for houses close to there, you will make money. You will be printing money, my friend. Another thing is, obviously, when you've searched for hotel developments in Glasgow, look for the likes of budget hotels like Premier Inn, Ivy Styles, and Travel Lodge, and bed and breakfast. If they're building hotels, or just look for which areas in your particular city are they building hotels. If they're not building hotels, just look for these hotels and see where they are located in your particular city. So you'll see most of these hotels, some of them are in the city center, but some of them are actually in those outskirts of the city center, just a little, like outside the city center, because probably in the city center to rent a building for them, it's expensive. So they'll just locate outside and they'll go parking, So I want you to actually do another test. So drive around at night in those low budget hotels, and you see a lot of vans parked there. These are like contractor vans. So if your city is got construction and all that, and you drive around to these low budget hotels and you see a lot of vans parked there, just know your city is booming. This is before you even do further research. This is by just doing research on the surface, just on the internet, by clicking 2 or 3 buttons, and this is what you come up with. So moving on, I just want to discuss with you the best websites for market research. So there are actually 4 websites which you can do your market research for this strategy. So website number 1 is Airbnb. Website number 2 is Booking.com. Website number 3 is AirDNA. And website number 4 is Wheelhouse. So the quickest thing to do here is just go on Airbnb and you act like a traveler. You act like a guest. So you go to your city, search in, I live in Glasgow. I'll type in Glasgow and start looking for Airbnbs in Glasgow and see the areas with the most Airbnbs. Because one end of Glasgow can have loads of Airbnbs, and the other side, maybe the south side of Glasgow, you find like these few Airbnbs, 1 or 2 or 3. Just actually, I'm going to ask you a question. Which area would you go? Let's say the west end of Glasgow, the west side is got loads of Airbnbs, and the south side is got a few Airbnbs. Which area do you think would actually work for serviced accommodation Airbnb arbitrage? Okay, type in the comments below, and I will definitely answer. But just to give you an answer, the west end area will work the most because there are many Airbnbs there. So don't go on the opposite side because there are few Airbnbs thinking it will work. No, this is actually something called, they studied this in Masters of Business Administration as a module called hotel modeling. Another example I will give you, this is off topic, but it's a good example. Look at coffee shops. When you look at coffee shops, you will see there's Costa, there's Starbucks, there's Italian coffee, whatever, and another coffee. 4 coffee shops next to each other. Then you ask yourself why. They're not taking each other's competition. Then you see opposite, there's Greg's. So like 5 coffee shops, like selling the same thing, coffee, donuts, whatever. And you think about it, wait, why didn't the other coffee shop go the other side of High Street in a hiding corner? No, because of hotel modeling, this strategy, they want to be where there's demand. You want to be where there's traffic, so they will allocate next to each other. But when people come, they will have the one to go to. So if you look at these, if you go through now, actually just start looking around. When you go through your high street, look at all those coffee shops next to each other, and when you see them, they are full. They are full. So because when someone walks past, maybe they want a coffee and they see Starbucks has got a long queue, no queue in Costa, they're going to Costa. Someone else will see, oh, Costa has got a long queue, they're going to Starbucks, just like that. So it's exactly like that with Airbnbs. If it's in an area where there is a concentration of Airbnbs, there is a reason why. As I discussed, it's a hotel modeling strategy. Okay, another place to look for to do this research is Booking.com. So a lot of people actually don't know this, but Booking.com, in terms of business revenue, Booking.com is bigger than Airbnb. It's a bigger company, so they spend a lot of money on marketing. And having said that, so this is a bigger platform where like a lot of people actually get most of their bookings from Booking.com than Airbnb. So in our portfolio, we get most of our bookings direct now because we've been operating for a long time. But another like majority of our bookings come from Booking.com, then Airbnb, then other platforms. But Booking.com is a big platform. So you do this research as well, exactly like what you did on Airbnb. So you act like you're a guest, you act like a traveler, go in your city, then you type in Glasgow. If you live in London, just type in London, then you start looking, also look for the budget, which are based on the types of guests you want to attract, based on the types of properties you will have. So if it's the luxury ones, compare with the luxury properties which are already there in the area. If it's a contractor, hybrid, holiday makers market, compare, do like for like, start looking at those houses. That will give you like a basic on the ground market research to see, okay, this is what's on the market. Where can I come in? Where can I add value to the marketplace? So another website, so we've spoke about Airbnb, we spoke about Booking.com. The next website to do your research on is a website called AirDNA. So AirDNA pulls data from Airbnb and also from VRBO. So they pull the data out from two platforms and they synthesize that data. They give you in graphs, like good presentation, so you can actually see the average daily rates for that particular city or for that particular town or area. You can see, okay, average daily rate could be £120. So oh wait, if this city's average daily rate is £120, so that means even if I come on the higher end, like and I'm charging 130, 140 per night, far off, it actually shows you like the revenue of other properties on a nightly rate, monthly, etc. So it's got that kind of data. So it's good to research and you see what the competition is doing, what other properties are doing. Because if you want to penetrate, you don't want to penetrate the market worse off. You want to penetrate that market providing something unique and providing something better. So you want to see exactly what the competitors are doing and you do it better. You bring your USP, your unique selling point. Another website, the last website we're going to touch on is a website called Wheelhouse. So I actually like Wheelhouse because Wheelhouse it also pulls data from, I think, Airbnb and VRBO. So you see, like, I don't know, Booking.com doesn't sell their data because obviously for these companies to scrape data from Airbnb, maybe they'll Airbnb sell our data, who knows? But Booking.com, probably it's hard to scrape it, So so it's also like pulls data from Airbnb and VRBO. But even sometimes when I look on Wheelhouse and AirDNA, you can get like a 5-10% off. It could be like when the data was extracted, etc. But these are good websites to actually do your market research because you can actually get like the data being the same. You're like, okay, cool. So the data is the same. Yeah. So let's give you an example. So if a property in your particular city and in your particular niche in that city, like the particular area postcode is getting booked, maybe the average booking in a year is about 60% occupancy. Yeah, and this data, just know this data excludes Booking.com data. So you can do the numbers based on that 60%, or if you want, you can actually add another 10-15% to say, well, look, if Booking.com is now involved, like this property will be booked more, because like as I mentioned to you, Booking.com actually sometimes brings more bookings. So you can actually work your numbers on based on 75% occupancy for that particular property. But if the deal works on that 60%, yeah, why not? Just do the deal. And if whatever you get is bonus, or whatever you get is extra, that's an added bonus to you, to your bank account, to your pockets. So yeah, so we've covered all the best websites for market research. So do act like a guest, act like a traveler, go on Airbnb, go on Booking.com, then you go to these research analysis tools, AirDNA and Wheelhouse. So with these tools, also subscribe to their newsletters, read the new technology, how they're doing to actually get the new information, So even if you don't have a property, just read their newsletters and start getting that information, because you can see, okay, these properties, these companies are saying X about my city. So because they spend a lot of money to do market research, they've got a whole department doing market research. So you just leverage that, So just steal their research and use it to increase some pennies in your pockets. So yeah, so let's move on. So the next thing we're going to speak about is the best websites to find property deals. So we spoke about the best websites to do your research, to know what's going on in that particular area. So now it's the best websites to find the properties. The biggest one, I wouldn't say the biggest one, I'll say the best one for me is a website called OpenRent. The reason why I say this is the best one is because on OpenRent, 9 times out of 10, so that's 90% of the time, you could be speaking to a landlord. So it's more like direct to the landlord communication. So on OpenRent, like landlords go there to list the properties because one, maybe they're trying to avoid using lettings agents to avoid paying a commission, etc. And two, maybe the landlords self-manage their properties. So it's good to actually go there and look for properties. However, there are some lettings agents who also advertise there because they saw a lot of people go there wanting to find landlords. So the good thing about OpenRent is you can speak to the landlord and negotiate a viewing, So here is, we will get into it when is the right time to pitch and tell the landlord what to do. So we'll get into it in the next checkpoint. But yeah, so OpenRent, good with landlords. So the other websites are Rightmove, Zoopla, and On the Market. So landlords don't tend to advertise on these ones. So it's mainly lettings agents, like agencies with businesses, But the good thing about these agencies, some of them have caught up to this, Some of them know about these strategies or these technical names, you can say rent to rent, Airbnb. Some of them know, some of them will be watching this video, this course, So that's the good thing about it now. So you don't have to have like a script with whatever script, which when you get there, you forget it and you make a fool out of yourself. So all these things, it's all about, it goes back to one thing, building a relationship, and giving them, explaining your benefits. So we get this to this checkpoint. But yeah, so if maybe you're still struggling to find properties on there, you could look on places like Facebook Marketplace, places like Gumtree, etc. But I tend to stay away from those, or even like on Facebook groups. There are people who advertise properties there. So on Facebook groups, join places like landlords in that particular area. So if you live in Birmingham, Coventry, so join a group called Landlords in Birmingham, Landlords in Coventry, join those groups, because you can find landlords who will be like, oh, I've got a tenant moving out, then straight slide into their DMs, So those Facebook groups, you're like, oh yeah, landlord, I'm in this group. So for you to join that group, if they're accepting landlords only, just say you're a landlord and just join the group. Okay, that's fine. The job. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna talk about landlords and lettings agents. So these are the people who are actually holding the keys to your property, and your job is to take those keys and start operating the property as a service accommodation and print money from it. So the person with the keys, there are two people, landlord and the lettings agents. They've got your keys. So I'll give you a few tips for you how to get those keys and make those keys yours and control those properties. So with the landlords, a lot of the landlords don't understand this strategy. So when you say Airbnb to them, they just freak out because they think parties, my house is going to be trash, it's going to be like this, etc., etc. It's like the worst case scenario because obviously we know our good media doesn't portray Airbnb as the best thing. There are horror stories from Airbnbs. You saw during COVID, you saw during anything on the media, it portrays Airbnb's bad. So the landlords see those things. But however, you want to position yourself in a professional manner and you want to tell them the benefits for the landlord choosing you compared to a long-term tenant. So one of the benefits of being a service accommodation operator to a landlord is on the maintenance side. You would tell the landlord, I won't be calling you every 2 minutes when the light bulb breaks, when there's a low leak drops in the tap, etc. So you just tell the landlord, in terms of the maintenance, I can negotiate any maintenance below 100 or 200 pounds. I'll do it myself as a business. You just want to show the landlord how the property will look like. So especially if it's a property which needs some TLC, you say, look, I will fix this ABC, and take care of your property, because the types of clients which I'm bringing to your property, wouldn't want to stay in a property as it is now. So don't say it like it's in a bad way, but you just say they've got a different taste, etc. Just try, because you don't want to upset the landlord as well. Well, when you're trying to negotiate for their property, you don't want to upset them. So you just want to position yourself. So everything is about positioning yourself. So even if you haven't done it till, just position yourself like you actually have. No, you actually have, or lie. So if it's your first time, but just tell them, look, I've got educated, or know what I'm doing, or I've got someone helping me, all this kind of stuff, and you actually want to show them the benefits. Okay, your property is going to look like this. You can show examples of property on Airbnb, other people's properties, and if they ask, are those yours? No, these are not mine, but this is my competition. You can screenshot those pictures. Like, you don't want to go to the Airbnb platform, just screenshot those pictures and say, no, these are not mine, but these are my competition. So that's A. But if the landlord is now going into detail, you can just sway them. Just always talk about what the benefits to them. In terms of rent, there's no void period. There's no void rent. You're guaranteeing them rent for a long time, for 3 to 5 years. You're happy to sign that kind of contract, 3 to 5 years on a company-led contract. There are scripts for this. There are scripts which you can use. But for me, I always say it's all about building relationships, because you can go with the script and the landlord can ask you a question and they just throw you off, or you can go with the script and the landlord completely understands the framework, the strategy. So it will be like, oh yeah, I've got another property which I let out on Airbnb, or someone I gave it to someone who lets it out on company let, something like that. So you're like, okay, cool, yeah, I want to do exactly the same thing. Okay, cool, they're the keys. Forget about the script. So just think about relationships. I always put relationships before scripts. So it's all about building that relationship, telling them their benefits. They don't care about you, your business, whatever. They only care about their pockets, their benefits, their property. So you want to tell them and show them, until they actually believe you. So you give them that confidence. So with the lettings agents, it's the same approach, same thing. But with the lettings agents, I think you have to work twice as hard than direct to the landlord, because the lettings agents, you need to convince the lettings agent, and the lettings agent needs to convince the landlord. So there's actually two people, because the properties which are go through the lettings agents, probably the landlord doesn't want to speak to you, to tenants, so that's why they've gone to use the lettings agents. So you just need to convince them, explain to them. As I mentioned before, some lettings agents already know this strategy, so if they say, oh, so you want to do company let, so you want to do rent, service accommodation, don't try and not lie and use other technical terms. Just say, yeah, do you have other people in your lettings agents who do that? They'll tell you, some of them will tell you, yes, like other properties we let out, we give them to these kind of operators, and we actually like them, because they never call us to say the light bulb is gone, the tap is dripping, like deep. They don't do those kind of calls. So it's actually a benefit. So the lettings agent is actually getting a commission for nothing for your property, which is running smooth. So it is a win-win. If anything, we are actually helping lettings agents more than like for them renting it out on AST contract, which is long-term tenants. So yeah, those are the two approaches. But if you've got more questions on this, yeah, put on the comments below, and I can make another video and deep dive into these lettings agents, or we can do calls speaking to lettings agents or landlords, or like frameworks, like actually how to approach them, etc. But for me, the most important thing when you're approaching both landlord and lettings agents is relationships. Our business, it's a people's game. Business is people, so people first, people before profit. I think I've seen that somewhere. Yeah. So it's a people's game. So people before profit, and you will get your deal. So you've spoken to the landlord, you've spoken to the lettings agents, and it's now time to do a viewing. I'm gonna go through like the 5 things you need to be careful or to be aware of when you go for viewings. So this is different framework to when you're actually buying a property. So these viewings are you're viewing a property which you're gonna rent out, and you also, this property, you want to make money from it immediately, so it's not like you want to like get a property which is distressed. So one of the things which you want to do is actually view properties which you think will work. So you want to save your time. You want to be efficient when you're doing this. You don't want to just look for properties which you don't want to just go for viewings for the sake of viewings, to take a picture of social media, say, oh yeah, mate, I went for a viewing. No, you want to view a property with the intention that it's actually going to work for you. So we have to be intentional with this. We have to be 100% intentional. So number 2 is analyze the deal before viewing. So even if you ask the landlord or lettings agents, oh, can I come for a viewing? They say yes, okay, 2:00 Friday, whatever. You booked your time, but before you actually go there, analyze the deal, because it might not be for you, and it's not too late to call. Oh man, sorry, that property is not for me, and or you just analyze. So what you'll be doing here is you'll be saving yourself time and hassle. You don't want to just be going for viewings, because there are a lot of viewings, and phone calls which you need to make until you get your first property. So you want to be efficient as possible, and you want to be aiming for the target, closer to the target as possible. So analyze the deal before viewing. Then if you think it's worth going for a viewing with this deal, then yeah, go for the viewing. When you go for the viewing, you want to be looking out, like to say, okay, these are my numbers. My numbers are going to work if this property is A, B, C, D. So you're looking out for things which you didn't see on the pictures, because some of these things you don't see on the pictures are the things you want to see, because that's the hidden gems, It's like maybe if there's boiler or other problems in the property, they wouldn't take a picture and advertise it there. So you just want to be looking out for these things, because buying this property, so you don't worry about a lot of things which you'll be looking at when you're buying the property. You just want like a property which is functional. You want a property which is it's gonna be welcoming guests soon. I mean, if the painting there is not your favorite color or it's not part of the theme you're looking at, I mean, yes, you can ask. You can once you've got the property, you can repaint it. To your like other people, other landlords or agents, they'll ask you to ask for permission before you make any paintings, etc. Which is fine. 9 times out of 10, they only say yes 90% of the time. I mean, which landlord will say no to someone wanting to add value to their property? That landlord will be, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say the word, but yeah. So you can ask for these things. So you want to look for, okay, if this property needs certain types of works to be done, works which are going to be within your budget as a service accommodation operator. So that could be painting, quickly fixing ABC, or painting the kitchen, like light work, light refurbishment. You don't want to go for heavy refurbishment, changing the kitchen, changing the bathroom. No, it's not your property. You don't want to do that. That's going to cost you a lot of money. You don't want to add value like that. But like making the decor look nice, and these things can be done by color. Paint is very powerful. So painting the properties, wallpapers and all that can actually make it more homely, ambient, and you actually suit the decor which you're going for. So yeah, after doing that, you analyze that and you now know, okay, cool, I need to do this in the property. So you can do rough estimate calculation to say how much will that light refurb cost you. Then you go back and analyze the numbers again, because maybe you might have seen in the pictures there was something which wasn't being shown, and you've seen it once you've gone to the face-to-face viewing. And if you think the numbers still work after seeing that, analyze in detail, and the numbers still work, so yes, that's kudos. So go for the deal. So number 4, what I wrote is avoid properties which require a lot of work. I'll say those properties are a no-no. So if you walk into your property and the red flags are there, you will see the red flag. If you see a property with a red bathroom or red tub, like green tub, those are like 1957 bathroom suits, you'd be like, nah, no guest will want to stay there, unless your theme is 1903 kind of theme style. So, but it's like, avoid those things, because in those properties, like, they will give you signals, like to say, oh, wait, hello, I'm a red flag. Hello, I'm a red flag. So you don't want to be those going for those properties. Either the heating system is old, your guests are always cold, or they're now asking for electric heaters, etc. Those things will reflect on your reviews. So you want to avoid those things. Number 5. So I usually use this technique when I'm buying the properties. Like, when you actually walk into the property, check your phone. Is your network still there? So believe it or not, we in the United Kingdom, but there are some pockets, some places where the network in the house, the network can go. Like, there's actually no network, there's signal. So if you've got 2 phones, Vodafone or EE, just check. Oh yeah, the Vodafone is strong, EE is strong. Then you're good to go. Then also, like, check the internet speed. If there is no internet there right away, you can check the internet speed online using like websites to actually check the download speed of that particular area. I mean, everything right now is Wi-Fi is super fast. So those are the expectations of every guest. Everyone wants internet. Everyone wants like fast Wi-Fi. So it's like, you want to make sure those things actually work. You've got like there is network in the property. So yeah, number 5 is, you won't like find it so often, but it's like people forget this. They kit out the property nicely, they decorate it nicely, but hey, look at your phone, mate. People will be trying to reach you, they can't, because there's no signal in the house. So imagine once you got the property and you're now starting to welcoming guests, so that will reflect on your reviews. So look at those pointers. So moving on, the last checkpoint in this phase is deal analysis. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom my screen and I'll be in the background. So don't go away. I will be talking and we will analyze the deal. We will crunch the numbers, because if your numbers are wrong, the deal is going to be skewed. There is no point for you to do a deal when the numbers are wrong. So you need to get these fundamentals, because at the end of the day, you are running this as a business, and business operates to make profit. You don't want to start with the loss from day one, and starting with the loss all comes back to the numbers if you didn't analyze your numbers correctly. So stay with me and now we crunch these numbers. If you've got this far, assume you've made a decision on your location and guest profile. You've gone through the market research on Google search, Airbnb website, Booking.com website, AirDNA website, and also Wheelhouse website. You have looked for properties on Rightmove, Zoopla, OpenRent, On the Market, Facebook Marketplace, and Gumtree, all those websites which we discussed previously. On this phase, we are going to analyze the deal using an example in one of the properties in our portfolio. So this property is a 4-bedroom house targeted to holiday makers and contractors. I will use this as a live example. So here we are actually crunching the numbers, going through everything that actually makes a deal. So also comment below, please send bonuses if you want me to send the spreadsheet to you. However, just be careful if you're not familiar with Microsoft Excel, because the formula links can break and that can make your numbers not true and mess up your deals. Because of this, in the next checkpoint, I will show you another method to analyze deals if Microsoft Excel is not your strongest point. So yeah, the top column, I've got the break even. The break even, this is where your occupancy rate has to be 40% for you to actually be able to pay your monthly operating expenses and for you to make money. The way I've broken down this spreadsheet is on top here, it's occupancy. This is like how many nights your property is booked per calendar month. So in 30 days, how many nights is it booked? So if it's booked for 12 nights, so it means your occupancy is 40%. All my deals, I usually use 40% as the break-even point. So if a deal doesn't work at 40%, if my net profit here is negative, so it means, well, if I don't reach 40%, I'll be paying out of my pocket. I won't do that deal. Average daily rate is the average nightly rate which you receive after commissions. So don't forget, if you list your properties on OTAs, which is online travel agents, these are the likes of Airbnb, Booking.com, Google Vacations, VRBO, they will charge a commission because that they are brokers. They make money from commissions. Airbnb charges about 16 or 17% commission, Booking.com the same, etc. So if you put your average daily rate, which is like the money you receive after commission, is going to be £130. So for this property, we receive £130 per night after commissions. The number of nights at 40% is 12 nights. So if the property is actually booked for this 40%, I'll make sales revenue per month of 1,560. The rest is it's all formula calculated, and at 50%, 15 nights, you make 1,950. At 60%, you make 2,350. 70%, all that, So you can change these numbers. If your nightly rate is going to be £100 after your OTA, then obviously if it's booked 40%, you make 1,200. But for this example, this is a live property. This is actually what we currently charge, 130 nights. It goes up if it's 100% occupied. That's like 3,900. Yeah. So this is actually money coming into your bank account. Remember, I said we've got two accounts, account for money in and account for money out. So this is the account for money in. So the money will come in. Then the next one, these are monthly operating fixed costs. You can call them expenses, whatever you want to call them. But these, to me, I call them monthly operating fixed costs. No matter what, if the property is empty, full, whatever, I will still need to pay these expenses. The rent to the landlord for this type of property, we pay £1,000. There is council tax, like the tax is based on where you are. This varies, so your council tax can be higher or lower. Or for this type of property, we pay £140 Besides council tax, you can also apply for business rates, which I won't go into in here, but it's the same as council tax, but for businesses. This example, we just use council tax, which is 140. Then for energy, which is electricity and gas, we pay 250 because energy bills went up. Water, £50. Broadband, we use super fast broadband. We pay £35 a month. There are other expenses, but because we've got a portfolio, so we don't pay these expenses per property. It's bulk payments. So there is channel manager, which is uplisting, which I use. There is monthly maintenance costs, which you can factor in. Netflix, you can put Netflix subscription, insurances, TV license, wheelhouse pricing tools, because these, we pay them in bulk as part of our portfolio. So for this analysis, I didn't want to add them in. So you can see the total operating cost is going to be 1,475 all the way throughout. There's one cost which I didn't add here because it varies based on how many nights you booked, how many checkouts, etc. This is the cleaning charge. I don't put the cleaning charge here because the guest will pay the cleaning charge. So it's not like my expense. That's going to be the guest expense. The guest will pay that. You can see here, if the property is booked 40%, you make £85. But if the property is booked for 50% out of the 30 days, you make £475. If the property is booked for 60 nights, you make £865. This is your monthly profit. It stays in your bank as profit. 70%, you make 1,255, 165. There's 90%, 2,000, and 100%, there's 2,425. By the way, these are very, very conservative numbers because this varies. This average daily rate varies. If it's weekends, you can charge more on the weekends. I've taken the one we charge Monday to Thursday, but like Friday and Saturday, our weekend prices are more because it's a weekend. We probably charging for this property, we charge 160, 170 during the weekend. If this works at 40%, just know all this is profit. So this is profit, and this profit can be more. So it's not going to be, even if it's booked 100%, it's not going to be capped at 2,425 because you can have weekend bookings. If it's 100%, you've got weekend bookings already, so it's going to be more money for you. So these can actually go up to like even 3,000 because if you've got like an average of 150, so this can actually go to 3,000. This is profit. If your property is booked 100%, you can make £3,000 profit after paying the landlords, after paying the bills, electricity, etc. This is the power of Airbnb Arbitrage. This is the power of service accommodation. But this is very important because it's a numbers game. A lot of people, especially when you're starting off, like if you can be breaking even at 60% and you decide to do the deal, to me, that's a bad deal because in the slower months, in winter months, that can come back and bite you. Also, once you've got your property, you start operating, there are other ways to get direct bookings. With the direct bookings, you don't have to pay commission. If on the OTAs, it's advertised as 150 and Airbnb is taking £20 and you're getting 130 a night, if it's a direct booking, you'll be getting the full 150. That's another avenue which you can maximize your profits. Okay, I've analyzed this, and one thing which obviously I also want to emphasize on the monthly operating expenses is the internet. Don't go cheap on the internet because that will reflect on your reviews. Other people like to pay for Netflix, but what we found out is each time we used to pay for the Netflix, but everyone has got a Netflix account. So people sign out to that one and sign in to their own Netflix. So I did a test and like, okay, I'm not going to pay for Netflix anymore. No one has ever asked for a Netflix password because everyone has got their own Netflix. Do not guess in terms of the energy bills. Don't guess it. Just make sure you can call energy companies and say, look, I've got a 4-bedroom property on such and such a postcode. There'll be about 6 people living there. How much is it going to be monthly electricity and gas? I'm looking to move in there. They can tell you, for this property, you're looking at paying around, well, it depends on usage, but they can give you an average. So if you don't just put like low prices to make the deal work, because that will bite you in the future. Just try put the exact amounts. If obviously also base it on where you currently live, how much electricity and gas are you paying? Because these are like fixed bills, which even if your property is empty, these will need to be paid no matter what. So you need to actually be 100% accurate on them, get them right. So there is also insurances here, because we pay the insurance for the portfolio. I didn't include it here, but for your one property, you could be paying about 30 or 40 pounds on insurances, TV license, 10, 15 pounds, all these. So you can include them there. So even if we include these low numbers here, I'll still break even on this deal at 40%. There are other ways also to increase revenue, because we are Airbnb portfolio business. So our main thing, we're selling sleep, we're selling beds. In terms of that, we're also selling experiences. You can actually increase revenue by other ways. For example, early check-ins and late checkouts. So you can charge guests for that. If they want to check in early, you can ask them to pay extra money. If they want to check out late, you can ask them to pay an extra charge. And also other people include experiences. If you live in a holiday place and you can include these experiences and charge the money, that will increase your revenue. If they've booked with you, they already trust you and they'll be able to pay those kind of extra charges. And you can put those extra charges through the OTAs as other fees, etc. And OTAs won't take a commission on them, or they can pay direct to your Stripe account or bank account, whatever it is, but you actually made extra money on it. I will show you another way. No one has ever shown this way. No one teaches this, but I will show you. This probably going to be the first YouTube video showing you this, how to calculate the deal using another method if you're not good at Excel. If you want the script, comment bonuses below in the comment section, and I will send you both deal calculators, the Microsoft Excel version and this AI version. We're using AI, artificial intelligence. So for this method to work, you need to open two websites. Number one, ChatGPT, and number two, a website called html.onlineviewer.net. So once you've opened those two websites, so you just copy and paste it. And once you've done that, just for this one, like only the numbers in yellow, you can change them, but don't touch the other code because it won't make it work. Once you've copied it, you come here, you open the website, ChatGPT. Sorry, I've already opened it because I was running it. Then you paste it in there. Then you press enter. Once you press enter, it will write the code for you. It's writing the code. You just wait for it to finish writing the code. You'll know once it's finished. It's still writing. It's the long code. Once it's finished, you go to the top, you copy the code, and you go to the second website, which was the HTML online viewer. You come here, you paste it, and once you pasted it, you just bring the tables there. Preview full page, you click there. That's it. So that was like less than a minute. It takes you less than a minute to actually calculate. If you look at these numbers, sales revenue, occupancy, is the same as the ones which are on the Excel. I'll pull up the Excel now. You see at 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%, and it actually tells you the sales revenue per month, 1.560, etc. Then the table 2 shows you the operating costs. The landlord rent, £1,000 all the way throughout. Council tax, 140. The energy, electric, gas, 250. Water, £50. The super fast broadband, 35. The other costs, 0. Because as I mentioned to you previously, the things like uplisting, maintenance costs, I pay in bulk as part of the portfolio. But if you want, you can edit these other costs. Where it says 0, you can add the number which you want. If it's £100, you can add £100, put it here. Net profit per month, £85, because that's 40% occupancy. But the way it increases, so at 50%, your net profit 475, 60% 865, 70 1.2, 80 1.6, 90 1.8, 100% 2K, and it shows you your annual profit as well. There is your annual profit, just shows you all this. This is just artificial intelligence. With AI, you can use it in other places as well in your Airbnb business. I hope this was helpful, but if you want this, just comment on the comment section. Can you send us bonuses, please? And I will send them to you. So there is the Excel version. That's the Excel version. I can send you both the Excel version and the AI version. So the numbers are exactly the same. That's the beauty about AI. Okay, that's it for phase 4. Let's move on to phase 5 now. So now we're gonna go into phase 4. The must-haves. Like phase 4 is about Airbnb property setup. So the checkpoints we're gonna cover in this phase are checkpoint number 1 being budgeting. So we crunch the numbers. Now we want to look at the wider budget. Next checkpoint will be interior designing. The other checkpoint is furniture. The other checkpoint is professional help. So the likes of your maintenance team, your housekeeping team, and virtual assistants, etc. Then the other one is pictures. Your photographers. The last checkpoint is the must-haves before going live. So the first checkpoint is budgeting. Budgeting is very important. So we spoke about the numbers, and you saw how complicated the numbers can get. So if you actually your occupancy is off, so that was just skew your deal, skew your business. So having the initial rental costs, so knowing how much the rent you'll be paying, having that fixed cost is very crucial for your budget. So have your fixed rent. The next one is know how much you're going to spend on furniture and deco. So this is like your initial startup cost, your initial business startup cost. So if you're going to go for the high-end market, you want to be spending high-quality beds, velvet stuff, good furniture, expensive furniture, so it actually reflects on your pricing. So if you're going to spend that kind of money, so you need to have deep pockets, because you actually need to do a good job in finishing this. So the other 3 in which you need to account for in your budget is your utility bills setup and monthly cost. So if you're getting a broadband, internet, these kind of things will have setup cost. Other utility providers can charge you setup costs if they come in to move a meter or come in to do something. So you need to actually factor these figures in mind. So make sure you're aware if the types of meters which are there, or if you're going to change a meter, they're not going to charge you ridiculous amounts of money. We spoke about insurances in phase 1. So you now need to set up like direct debits, of the insurances which are coming up. If you've got the budget, you can pay upfront for the year and you forget about the insurances. Now you also need to have the cleaning and maintenance budget, especially when you're starting off. So once you set up the property, you want the cleaners to come in and do a deep clean, and you get a photographer in to take pictures. With the maintenance guy, if you're not good with your hands, if you're not a handy person, you can get like people to come and help you with this. So when it comes to budgeting, just think about these costs, think about all these costs and write them down. If you're at tech, went through like the spreadsheets, the AI models, just write them down and have them, the numbers, and track those numbers. If your setup cost is going to be £5,000, stick to your numbers, stick to £5,000. Just because you've seen a nice sofa, you don't have to sway and now want to buy an expensive sofa. No, stick to your budget. And the minute you start deviating, you're breaking your own principles, you're breaking your own rules. So stick to your budget and make it work within the budget. The next checkpoint we're going to cover here is the interior designing. So with this, when you're setting up a property, you don't have to go to like the high-end Main Street, the big interior designers you see would design for celebrities and all that. I mean, you can actually do this yourself. So interior designing. But if you would want to get it wrong, you can actually pay someone to do the interior designs for you. But if you don't have the budget, which we've spoken about, if you don't have the budget and your budget is minimal at startup, just do this yourself, So you want to identify your guest profile, which you've already done, I would like to believe. And once you've identified your guest profile, you also want to benchmark your competitors' properties, what kind of interior design are they going for, what kind of atmosphere are they creating, so if you, what we do is we've got hybrid, so we've got contractors and holiday makers, so we always want to create that homely, welcoming atmosphere, like your home far away from home, so we want to create that homely atmosphere, so we go for those neutral colors, vibrant colors, etc. So my business partner, who's also my wife, she's the one who takes care of this side of business. And when you come into interior design, just think functionality is key. Excuse me, you're not designing this for yourself. You're actually designing it for the wider market. You're designing for people who are going to be your guests, people who are going to be clients, people who are going to be paying you money. So if you don't like a certain color or a certain thing, yes, personally, you don't like it, but just remember, you're actually doing this for a business. If you look at all the CEOs in the world of business owner, there is an element which they don't like in their business, but they actually do it, because it actually works. That's what the customers want. So maybe if you don't like a certain color, but that's what the interiors is asking for. If the interiors are asking for the color, just go for it. Swallow your pride, swallow your ego, and make sure you're designing something which will work for your guests, something which will work for your clients. The last but not least, the last checkpoint here is quality and durability. So there is a saying which says, you buy cheap, you pay twice. So when you're doing these things, make sure you're not going for cheap products and you're going for high quality stuff, durable stuff which will last you. So you've taken a lease from a landlord which is going to be 3 to 5 years. You don't want to be changing furniture every year. You don't want to be changing furniture so often. So you want to get something which is going to last you for a very long time. You want to get quality stuff. So I always emphasize on quality. And sometimes quality, you have to spend a bit more to get quality stuff. But just imagine you get like cheap beds, and after a year, they're broken, and you're gonna buy new beds again because you still got the property, you're still renting it out as a serviced apartment, serviced accommodation, or short-term let. You still rent it out the property. So those are the 3 checkpoints which when it comes to interior design. Interior design, it's a whole big module on its own. So, but on here, I'm just giving you like the top level things, have your theme. And so just look at, like, I'm always a big advocate of benchmarking. You don't want to like redesign the wheel. There is no trophy for redesigning the wheel, when the wheel is already there, So just look on Airbnb, look on Booking.com. Those platforms will give you clues what's needed, what amenities are needed in that certain area, So there is no point now trying to be extra, like putting gold taps in the area where it's just normal taps, So when it comes to interior, think about your target market and think about the functionalities of that, and also think about what your competitors are doing. Excuse me, don't copy like for like your competitors, because they will see you. Don't copy like every rule. No, you don't do that. Benchmarking means is looking, getting inspired, getting an idea, and taking that and doing it yourself and doing it better. Add your USP, add your branding, add your logo, add your little spice, add your twist, and make it nicer. So if you saw sounds like a house which is, the decor, the theme is whatever, orange or something like that, they've gone for that kind of theme, you can look at that and say, oh, you know what, let me go for like a grayish theme, maybe like paint these feature walls. You just get that inspiration, just vision it in your head. I'm not a designer myself. My business partner does this, but if you look at our properties, you will like all our 12 properties are unique. No property is the same. All of them have got a different branding, have got a different theme. So even the properties we do for clients are actually unique. All of them are different. So also be unique, be yourself, and add your little spice. But also remember, you're not doing this for you. You are doing this for your guests, for your clients. Okay. So that's one of our those are like 4 listings of our properties. The other one is in Birmingham, West Midlands, and those other 3 are in Glasgow. You can see that all of them are different. All of them are different. The other one, the one in Glasgow, we've actually refabbed it. So this video is actually showing me that I need to change the picture. So we've actually changed the front color theme and to a different. So which brings me to another point when it comes to this interior design, because it's you're controlling the property. If you're bored of the theme after a year, 2 years, you can change it. And all these changes are paintwork. Painting. You can get a professional painter. If you're good with your hands, do the painting yourself. But like for me, like I've tried to put in a picture, and yeah, it was like skewed like this, and I knew that wasn't my strongest skill. So I get people who are strong in doing that, and they'll do everything. They'll do the painting, they'll do everything, from even putting a picture on the wall. So when it comes to furniture, we spoke about furniture in the interior design checkpoint, where we spoke about durability. So you want to be getting things which are going to last you for a long time. As I mentioned to you, you pay cheap, you pay what? Yes, you got that right. You pay cheap, you pay twice. So you want to get like good stuff, strong stuff. Like, yes, it doesn't have to be design like more expensive stuff, but good quality stuff. You can read reviews of these things, and you want things which are going to last you. So when it comes to furniture, where do you buy furniture? We buy furniture from places like IKEA, Amazon. For when it comes to the beds, we use local bed stores, bed companies, and we go there. We actually test the mattresses, sit on the mattress, dummy sleep on the mattresses, because it has to be a good quality, thick hotel standard mattress. You don't want to buy a thin mattress and imagine someone is coming to sleep on a thin mattress like they're in prison or something. No, that will reflect on your reviews. So what I tell people in this business, no matter what anyone tells you, you are selling sleep. You are selling someone to come sleep in your property. So that thing which they're actually buying, sleep, it has to be like good quality bed. So any project which we've done, guess what I buy first? I buy the beds first. I buy the beds and the mattresses first. And all our properties, you've got the most expensive and top-notch beds and mattresses. I've gone that far. Like sometimes I bought mattresses from John Lewis, but I'm not saying you do that, because we at the budget and we want those mattresses to last for us 10, 15 years, and they will last 10, 15 years because that's the quality we've gone for, So when it comes to that, buy your bedding first. There's no point buying your 100-inch TV when you've got like thin mattresses, poor quality mattresses. Like the guest is going to come and watch TV for like few minutes, 1 hour, but they're going to sleep on the bed for 8 hours. So where is the experience in? So yeah, when you're doing that, consider the guest experience. The other furnitures like sofas, TVs, you can always shop around. There are places, AO.com, there are carries, shop around and see what offers they've got, But if you're thinking of starting this business, make sure other things, you buy the same things. So I've learned this like commonality and modularity, So it's, if you're giving instructions, it's going to be the same instructions. I think in all our properties, our TVs are Samsung, So we've got like spare Samsung remotes. So it's something having like uniform things. Sometimes it's good to have uniform things, but things like sofas, you can have whatever sofa you want, So it's like sofa is a sofa, but things like TVs, because people are gonna use in them. If you're gonna be buying microwaves, like you can have like same microwaves. Like, so if you're giving instructions, how do I use this microwave? Okay, all my properties, whatever brand microwave you always go for. So just think about those little tricks. In the long run, they can save you because, I mean, believe it or not, other people don't know how to use other microwaves. Like sometimes, yeah, I've gone to other Airbnbs and I'm like, wait, where's that? Just start looking around for like 2 minutes because everyone is used to their own things. But it's like, well, once you give those instructions to say this, so if the properties don't come supplied with washing machine, etc., you can buy those white goods. But another thing is just always go for properties which provide these kind of white goods like fridges, washing machine, because they are heavy to carry up and you don't want to be buying those for the landlord. So you just want to be buying small things. And to be fair, most properties they provide these, but you will get the old ones which don't provide like white goods, But yeah, go for them if the numbers work out. Makes sense, but we've never found properties like that. Most of the ones we found, they provide their white goods. So the only things which we add up is like the little furniture there and there. So yeah, so when it comes to furniture as well, don't ignore places like Facebook Marketplace. So you can actually get good deals there on Facebook Marketplace. So those are one of things which you can get. So if you're gonna get a TV and you want your TVs to be uniform throughout the portfolio, I wouldn't advise going to Facebook Marketplace because you can get a Sony, you can get a different brand. So just keep like the same branding, or look at CurriesAO.com and these other places. They give discounts to landlords and look for sales, etc. So you get actually a discount. So remember, you are running this as a business, so you want to keep your budget as tight and as minimal as possible. So be like bargain hunter when it comes to this good furniture, but on a bargain. How about that? That's a win-win, right? Yeah, so I mean, furniture, you can get a checklist. Okay, who wants a furniture checklist? If you want a furniture checklist, DM me and I will provide you the furniture checklist as well. So the one which we use. So DM me the word bonuses and I will send that to you. That will save you time for creating your own furniture checklist. We've got that. We've done it many times, so I can provide you with that. But like in terms of shops, I go to different shops and I'm a bargain hunter. I look for the shops where they are sales, etc. But like there are same things which you buy the same thing for all our properties. So yes, when it comes to professional help, so I'll speak about the professionals which you require for this business, and I'll speak about where you can find them, and I'll speak about the benefits of having these people. So for service accommodation business, Airbnb Arbitrage, short-term rentals, whatever name you like to call it, is the backbone of your business. Are your housekeepers or cleaners. I just call them cleaners. Other people, they use fancy words like housekeepers. I mean, they are cleaners, and yeah, some of them like to be called cleaners, But yeah, so when it comes to cleaners, are like the backbone of your business because they are your eyes when you're not there. So especially if you live far away, the cleaners are the first people who go to the property when the guest checks out, etc. So you want to have a good cleaner who look after your property. So there are like two categories in terms of cleaners. So there are cleaners where they come from a cleaning company. So this cleaning company, maybe they're managing a portfolio of a lot of properties in a particular city. So you can leverage that cleaning company to say, look, I'm starting off, I've got one property. I know you're managing 100 plus properties. Do you mind adding my property to the portfolio? And if the cleaners are experiencing cleaning Airbnbs, they are your second eyes as well to look at your property, give you pointers because they've cleaned hundreds and hundreds of these different Airbnb properties. So where can you find? I spoke about the one type of cleaners. The other type of cleaners are the independent ones. So these are like the cleaners who, it's a small business, or it's like maybe someone, it's a sole trader who's cleaning, they've got 10 houses, etc. And they can squeeze in the properties, so these ones are good because they actually are usually their rates are usually cheaper than the company's ones, because if it's a cleaning company, don't forget they've got overheads, and maybe the owner also needs to pay their staff and make a profit, so they need to pay wages, make a profit, and all these overheads, etc. So they'll be like expensive. But with these ones, with these cleaning companies, it's like there are systems in place. They've got assistants, they've got virtual assistants, which if you've got a booking, everything is remote, they communicate. But with the other one, if the disadvantage with a solo cleaner, a sole trade cleaner is the independent cleaner is if she's ill or if she goes on holiday, you need to find a replacement. Other ones are so good, like maybe they've got other friends as well who are cleaners. But imagine if they go on holiday in the summer, because the summer is busy, everyone goes on holiday in the summer. They've gone on holiday with their family, and yeah, you'll be left like like what, holding the baby. Yeah, so you can be screwed. So, but if you've gone for the big cleaning companies, it's like, because each time your property could be assigned to someone different, so they will assign someone different to you. But the difference is on the price, because you will pay a premium for the bigger company and you pay less for the smaller one. So I'll tell you what I do when it comes to this. So my portfolio is diverse. So I've got properties in different cities. So I've got properties in Glasgow, in Birmingham, Coventry, Leicester. So for each of those areas, we've got different cleaners. So in Glasgow, because we live here, so we've got an independent cleaners. So even if the independent cleaners let us down, we can find other ones to do it quickly, So because we actually live in the area, so it's like we're more hands-on. In areas which are a bit far away from us, like miles away, like Birmingham, Coventry, Leicester, we've got companies, we use companies, so we do pay them a bit more. But the advantage is like we don't have to worry about those properties. So the cleaners are the backbones of your business, So when it comes to linen, so there are two strategies when it comes to linen as well, depending on the system your cleaners use. So the cleaning companies can actually also use a linen hire system, so that they change the linen, they take the linen for you, they do all the linen system for you as part of the service they provide, And so when it comes to the independent ones, so the independent ones we've got, they take the linen and some of them take it to the laundrette and wash the linen, leave the linen at the laundrette, collect the linen and bring it. Whereas, so the big difference here is the linen company, because they hire like loads of stuff and they've got storeroom storage, so they actually change the linen. So with the independent ones, so 9 times out of 10, you find out that the linen is yours. So they'll be using your linen, but they'll be just doing a drop-off and pick-up service at the laundrette. So it's still clean, it's still professional wash, but it's just different methods of doing it. So if you're starting off with 1 Airbnb, 2 Airbnbs, if your portfolio is less than 10, you want to keep the cost minimal, because hiring linen is expensive. So just weigh out the options. But if you're in a big city, and you're leveraging other big cleaning companies, that you could actually be getting these at cost as well, and like same price as people with 50 plus units, etc. Because you've just leveraged them. When the cleaning company is hiring linen, they don't hire just say, one for Tabo, one for Mike, etc. They just hire 500 pieces of linen, 500 pieces of towels, and they keep it in their storeroom, and they just be changing around the city. I know it's a bit of a complicated system, but don't worry. Just call your local cleaning company and explain to them. They will tell you what they do. And if you want as well, you can look for the independent one. Let's talk about the best place to actually find the cleaners. So you don't want to reinvent the wheel here as well. You just want to leverage the cleaners which are there. So most of these cleaners are not good at advertising. So they don't have websites and all these. So if you search on Google to like service accommodation cleaners, you might find some, but most of them are not there. But do you know where they are? They are in Facebook groups. So if you look wherever you are, or the national Facebook groups like service accommodation groups or Airbnb cleaners, these groups are anywhere in the world. So, but you don't have to be looking for a cleaner in Mexico or a cleaner in Zimbabwe. No, you just want to look for a cleaner where you are. So just look for the groups where you are and join those groups. And yeah, just post an ad and say, hey, I'm looking for a cleaner in such and such an area to clean my new Airbnb, etc. It will people will reach out to you. Or another thing, if you're in WhatsApp groups or if you other society communities and societies of Airbnb operators, ask for them for their cleaners, who they're using, and if they can recommend their cleaners. You don't want to look for a cleaner who's starting off as well. Like your property is gonna be. Imagine you're starting off your Airbnb business. It's your first property, and the cleaner is also starting off their Airbnb business. It's gonna be their first property. So it's if you're not experienced, so you can teach the cleaner, train the cleaner, like to say this is how you clean an Airbnb. Then that's fine. But if you inexperienced operator, I would say leverage cleaners who've been in the game for a long time. So it could be like big companies or independent cleaners. So if you're looking for a cleaner in the places where I operate, just message me as well, and I will help you with that. So with the cleaners, Facebook groups, Facebook marketplaces, Gumtree, places like TaskRabbit, you can find cleaners. That's where I've usually found most of my cleaners. But I haven't said that I've actually looked on Facebook groups, to be honest, and I've had luck on Facebook groups, so I haven't gone far looking for cleaners. So that's the cleaner chapter closed. The next professionals you will need are your maintenance team, your so-called handyman or handywoman. So these are like the people who, if there's anything, a breakage or something wrong in your property, you want them to respond quickly and go look out for those things, So the handyman, the best way to test your handyman is during the setup phase. So when you're actually setting up your IKEA furniture, like other handymen are good at that. So if you get a handyman and say, look, I'm listing this property is going to be a service accommodation, and I want a maintenance guy who's going to be responsive. So most of these maintenance guys, they are jack of all trades. They know how to touch ABC. But obviously, if it's something which requires specialist attention, just get a specialist. So don't let your handyman touch the electricity or gas. No. Because those things require someone who's registered, someone who's actually got a qualification to do that. But if they're gonna like come and fix the table, yes, you can get a joiner, or a carpenter and a joiner is the same thing, but that will cost you an arm and a leg. But if you get Mike from down the road who knows how to fix anything, like you do it for you. And if that person is a property maintenance for other properties, they've got the skills, they've been doing it for a long time, so the best place to get this guy or gal, guess where it is? Yes, you guessed that right. Facebook. Everyone is hiding on Facebook groups. I mean, these groups are so powerful, and you can just search on Facebook groups. And if you're in other communities like WhatsApp groups with other operators, ask the question as well to say, look, I'm looking for a handyman in this such and such an area. So when you get that handyman, you've seen they're good, just make sure you pay them well and ask them to, just build a relationship with them as well and say, look, I'm running this business. I'll make them understand the business. Just say, like, I know sometimes you can be busy, but like if there's something which is broken, like, can you actually be there at the property within less than 24 hours if they can, and if they say yes, I will be, and ask them if maybe on that one day they are ill or they're on holiday, if they've got mates as well who they can send out, and maybe sometimes ask if you can use their mates so you can suss them out and see if they're good for your situation. Because so my maintenance guy, it's a good guy, man, Pete. So he's a jack of all trades. He can fix literally anything. But in terms of gas, electricals, other stuff, he's honest. You like, nah, mate, just get someone professional for that, because I don't have those qualifications. But if a gas breaks, a table or anything, Pete is there, he's sorting it out. So you just want that kind of person for you, So in all the places you're gonna be operating. So once you've gained experience and you're operating in different cities, you want those kind of things. I mean, is it worth going for big companies for this? I don't think so. It's like, because these are like are small jobs. It's like, it's not like these are big breakages where you need to get a quote or call 5 builders. No, these are like they are small jobs. Like maybe a guest is there was a spillage, or like the feature hall is the paint is distorted or something like that. You just want to get your handyman to go there for 2 hours, paint the wall again. Do you want to get a big painter and decorator who's gonna like come and charge you an arm and a leg? So you need to be thinking about these things when you're running the business. Yes, go for the professional people, but you actually want to be linked, because there are things which like handy people can do the job as well. I mean, as well, if you are good with your hands, you don't have to be paying these extra monies. But remember, you want to run this as a business. Just in case you're not there, you've got someone to do it for you. But not all the time you can be calling that someone. If it's something which, what you can do, you can go and change the light bulb. Yes, go change the light bulb, mate. That's fine. Save yourself money. It's okay. It's totally fine. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being honest. So yeah, we spoke about cleaners. We spoke about the handyman. The next people, professional people you need in your Airbnb business are virtual assistants. So I mean, when you're starting off, you've got 1 to 5 properties. You might be doing all the admin work yourself, like guest communication, onboarding. But when there is more traction now, you're getting busy, especially if you've got more than 10 properties, etc. You will need a virtual assistant just to be chasing up things. Your virtual assistant could do your bookkeeping, your receipts, invoices, just making things in order, etc. Because remember, you are running this as a business. So where can you find these virtual assistants? So the ones we use are from the Philippines. So for some reason, Philippines is usually good for having these virtual assistants. And where can you find them as well? Yes, you guessed that right. Facebook. I mean, Facebook is a good recruitment tool. You can go into those Facebook groups. So if you type in virtual assistants, there will be loads of virtual assistants, and you can look for virtual assistants who are actually doing Airbnb, like service accommodations, Airbnb. Some of them have got like host in the US in different cities, and some of them have got host in the UK. So my virtual assistant it's actually his wife's company. So it's a big company. They send a lot of VAs in the UK and in the property sector. So yeah, if you want a VA, I can recommend the company to you. So do reach out to me in the comments or in my other social platforms, and I will help you out on there, or comment below and I'll help you out there. So yeah, so Facebook groups, you will get your virtual assistants. So we've covered like 3 professionals you need. So your cleaners, your handyman. So your handyman could help you with your startup, and also your virtual assistant. If you're confident with yourself, you're gonna start with 1 property, but you wanna scale to 10, 100 plus, etc. You can actually start recruiting these people, and you can have them working, the virtual assistant working 5 hours a week. Most of them are happy to do that because 5 hours a week to them, it is life-changing money, so, and they've got like extra income, so they will be happy to do that. And obviously they won't be doing your property only, they've got other properties which they're doing as well. You can sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, to protect yourself, that they don't disclose your information, etc. But yeah, you can do that as well. The other professionals which you need in your business, in your Airbnb arbitrage service accommodation business, is you need an accountant. So you can recruit an accountant to be looking at your monthly books, or you can recruit an accountant to be looking at your yearly books. So either way, whichever way you're comfortable with is correct. There's no right or wrong, but as long as your books are being taken care of, whether it's once a month or it's at the end of the year. So our system, the way we do our system is the VA runs like the bookkeeping, organizes it in a way like our accountant wants it, etc., etc. Then annually, the accountant runs the books for us. That's been working for us. My business partner, who's also my wife, she's got a background in accounting and finance, so she does look after that as well. And we ship the books to our chartered accountant who does everything. And yeah, we are tax efficient, so you want to be also tax efficient, someone who understands this business and who understands the model. So you want that kind of accountant. So yeah, so I mean, those are like the 4 or 5 professionals which you will need. So you need these professionals mainly at setup. So even if you've got one property, so you need them from day one, and also you need them during the operations, like day-to-day operations of your business. You will need these people. Okay, the most important thing, which I love, photographers. So once you're setting up your property, you don't want to go cheap when it comes to the photographer. You want to get a photographer who has taken pictures on Airbnbs before, understand the real estate pictures, understand service accommodation. Yes, you can use your wedding photographer, but you need to also coach them. I mean, it's not as easy as being behind the camera and just taking pictures. There are certain angles which you want for them to come out. There are certain aesthetics which you want your photographer to portray. So for our properties, we always use professional photographers who've done this before. And so it's, where can you find these people? Again, where can you find these photographers? Simple place is recommendations from people who are actually operators. Also on Airbnb, there is a community website, a community app or something where you can look for cleaners, photographers, etc. So I did forget to mention that. But on Airbnb itself, there is a community where you can look at that. You can look for photographers there, because these are people who, like, they are being promoted by Airbnb. Like, it's more like a marketplace thing. But for me, the best things are like Facebook groups, because you go into a Facebook group of service accommodation operators. They say, hey guys, I'm looking for a photographer in Birmingham. You see 10 recommendations. Oh, I've used this person. You can reach out to those 10 people to say, oh, you've been recommended. Can I work with you? Just whatever questions you want to ask them, to say if it's the price point or if it's an experience, whatever matters to you, you can ask them. Then you select whichever one you want to work with. So it's actually, in terms of recruitment, when it comes to this strategy, it's very easy, in the sense of you can leverage other people. Because if you starting off, you don't know if this photographer is good or not, but if someone has done it before, you can ask, like, oh, can I see the Airbnbs you've taken pictures of? It's an easy thing. They'll send you like links, etc. Say, oh, I've taken pictures of these, so it's like, but whereas when it comes to your wedding photographer, like the person who took pictures at your wedding or birthday party, it's like they can only show you you can only go by the wedding pictures you've got. Hey, I'm not saying they can't take property pictures, but for me, I like to shortcut the whole process. I like to go for someone who's done it to be efficient, to be faster, And yeah, so even the experienced people can make mistakes sometimes. So always challenge it. Always, if you've got a certain viewpoint and you want to portray something in your property, make sure you mention that to them. But in terms of prices, which they normally charge, it varies from 150 to about £300, and you get about 40 to 60 pictures. So depending on where you are and how you work with the photographers, I think we pay about that kind of price point, like 200 to 250. But like our photographer, which we use in England, and the guy we use in Scotland, they've done our properties before, so they get it. We just give them the keys, and they know everything, what to do, what angles to do, and we don't have to be there. So it's like we're using our time for other things. So so the reasons why photographers and pictures are important is because when a guest wants to book your property, that's the first things they look at. They look at pictures. So no one goes to your property and start looking at description first. No, it's like it's natural. People look at pictures. Is this where I want to sleep? Remember, you're selling beds. Is this where I want to stay? So so don't put the living room fair. Yeah, you can put the living room, but don't put the living room, bathroom, etc. only. But you just want to display the whole house and show the whole experience. So walk them through like the whole house. Tell a story using pictures, so they can see the space you're providing, the property you're providing, and they make their decision. But if you put poor quality pictures, so that will reflect a lot to you as a host. So if I was a guest and I'm trying to book and let's see, no, this person didn't even actually make an effort in taking pictures, so I'm not thinking that's a red flag. Why should I actually make an effort to go stay with them? So those things do make sense. So even on a basic property, the most basic property, no painting, no decorations, I mean, like fancy stuff, but like good quality pictures will make it look nice, will make it look clean, like daylight pictures, open windows. Don't take pictures at night, it's straight dark outside, or using your phone. They'll come out poor. Yes, you might have like a smartphone or good quality phone, but I always highly recommend a photographer, because you've invested already in the property. So just include this in your budget and do the right thing. So that's it on photography. I highly recommend it, and go on Facebook Marketplace, go on Facebook groups, and find these people. Look for experience, and ask them how much they charge. Get about 3 or 4 quotes, and use your recruitment guts to recruit someone, and take action, take pictures. Okay, so this is the last slide on here. So we're gonna go through the must-haves fundamentals before actually going live. So I wrote about 10 things which, before you can actually welcome a guest into your property, these are the 10 things you must have in your property, or these are the 10 things you must have completed or you must have done. So number 1 is high quality pictures, something which we've been talking about. So you need high quality pictures, no shortcuts, no excuses. Number 2, when you recruited your cleaner, so before you welcome guests, you want them to clean. You want actually for them to do a trial clean before hosting any guests. So the best time for the trial clean is after you've set it up. Ask them to clean before a guest comes in, and you can see their standards. I know it's money coming out of your pockets, but it will actually, if there's any red flags or if there's things you want your cleaners to improve on, that's the best time to tell them, to say, you know what, this is the way I like the properties to be clean. Also make sure there is a checklist for the cleaners for them to clean it. Depending on which ones you've gone for. If you've gone for the cleaning companies, most of them have got these checklists, and you must have a system and where you operate with the cleaners. So the way we operate with all our cleaners is, as soon as they walk into the property, they take pictures as is. They take pictures of the whole house as how they find the property. And as soon as they're finished cleaning and they're walking out, they take pictures and they send into like our community groups we're in. So the reason we do this is two things. So the before picture would show you how, if the guest has broken something or they've left a mess which needs access clean, we can communicate with the guest, and maybe if there's a dispute, we can take it up on the booking platforms, etc. If we're holding their deposit, we can give them a reason why we're gonna deduct a certain amount because of ABC. You do get rogue guests, like people who smoke in your house or people who damage things and they want to cover up and say, oh, it was like that before, But if you've got a systems of picture trails, say, no, that's the timestamp of when the cleaner checked out. These are the pictures when the cleaner checked out. That's the time. There you go. And this is when you came in and you've left the property like this. So this wasn't broken. You broke it. Yes, pay up, my friend. So there is evidence already. If they want to dispute it and they take it on Airbnb, remember what I mentioned in phase 1 about the air cover, that this is where air cover comes in play, because you've got evidence. Imagine you didn't have evidence of how it was before and you want to make a claim. So it's now like your word against the guest word. So pictures are very important. So always advise and encourage your cleaning team to take pictures. So all these things can be ironed out during the trial clean. So the third thing which you want to have are the house rules of your property. So these are like the house rules. If you don't allow parties, smoking, pets in your properties, you want to have those house rules clear in your listings, whether it's Airbnb, Booking.com, or the other OTAs. OTAs stands for online travel agents. So you want to have these house rules clear in the OTAs. The next one is I have guest messages. So you can automate these guest messages. So as soon as your guest books, like you want to know what message to manually send or automatically send. So all our guest messages, if someone books, etc., they go automatically. I don't manually send messages to the 15 odd properties we have. It's like everything is automation. So if someone books, automated message goes, hey, thanks for booking. Can we get ABC? All these things is you automate the process. So you just want to have a list of those messages to send. You want to know how your key management operates. So keys are the ones to open the doors, etc. Or if it's a code, you want to have those. So there are like different ways you can have this. You could have this with a logbox system, where you put a logbox and someone just opens the logbox and takes the keys and like gets inside the property. So in those guest messages, you'd have sent them the logbox maybe in the morning of check-in or day before, etc. We usually send out in the morning of check-in, just in case someone cancels the booking, etc. They don't have our detail, those kind of details, so you could do that, But other properties have got like these smart locks where you just need to press a code, etc. And these codes are now automatically generated, or each time a guest checks out, it rejigs the numbers, it creates a new code. So everything is becoming automated. So there are properties which operate like that. Then the third other one is Keynest. So a company called Keynest. In America, they call it a different name, forgot the name, but it's like these are like your key management companies. Because if you live in mainly apartments, flats, they don't like people putting key locks, etc. So you can drop your keys in like a corner shop, usually a corner shop, the Bossman shop, corner shop, and the guest will be going there, or a garage, a petrol station, the guest will be going there to collect the key, then go to your apartment. The disadvantages with these Keynest is like most of these places close at night. So just imagine you've got a guest who's coming in from abroad and their flight has been delayed. They end up reaching your property at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So if you've got these key nest, unless they open 24 hours, like, which is that will be good, but some of them close, so it will be like, but you need to tell the guest like your check-in times. I said, but these things can happen sometimes, so you just need to have a backup. It's not their fault, their flight was delayed. Yes, they know your check-in time. Your check-in time is from 3 p.m. till 10 p.m. because the bossman's shop is open at that time. But if their flight is delayed or there's been an accident or something has happened, things do happen. We live in a world like where things do happen. So you just want to be flexible and have plan B. The next thing which you want to have before going live is your emergency contact information. So it's like, who do you contact in case of emergency? So these are like your police services, fire brigades, etc. So if you've got international guests coming in, people are not used to the United Kingdom system, so you want to actually put this. There's two ways where you can put this. You can put this in check-in details, or if there's a guest book, handbook in your property, which it's got all these things. It's got instructions of how to use amenities, how to use things in the property. You can put that emergency contact information there. Number 7, guest amenities. So you want to stock things like we spoke about linen, we haven't spoke about toiletries, shampoo, soap, toilet paper, all these things. You want your kitchen to be fully equipped. So remember, my slogan is you providing a home far away from home. So actually making it more unique, to add on a USP, make sure your house is better than their home, so they don't want to leave. They want to stay there for a long time. So yeah, so don't forget to actually stock up on these things. And the key people to be restocking these things are your cleaners. So your teas, coffees, your toiletries, etc. Your cleaners could be looking after that. So depending on the type of property you've got, I mean, if you can buy these things from the cleaning companies, but that also adds extra expenses. So personally, what we do for our properties is we provide these things ourselves, because we've always got all the properties we have. We've got a cleaning cupboard which is locked up, so we can stock like tissues, buy loads of tissues from Costco. Yeah, buy loads of tissues from Costco, stock them up, big coffees, etc. Tea bags, like when it's running low in the kitchen, the cleaners can be taken from there. Depending if you offer toiletries, we could actually buy the 10-liter bottles of shampoo, etc., and you can be refilling the bottles. So all these systems will work based on your target market, what you're providing, and also when you're providing this, just check what your other competitors are providing as well. So you don't want to be providing too much things which are not necessary in that area. I see people provide gifts like cookies, etc., or teas. I mean, yeah, teas and coffees are standard, but like cookies or those extra chocolate sweeties, that's sweets and all that. Now we don't provide that, So, and like 3-4 star hotels, they don't provide that. So we don't provide that, because at the end of the day, that's extra cost. I'm not in the business of spending more money. I'm in the business of making more money. So if you want to do that, and I mean, these things are usually seen in like holiday lets, like in maybe holiday areas where someone is going for a holiday. But with serviced accommodation, you get mixed guests, so you get people coming for work. They don't care about no cookie on the bed, no Ferrero Rocher chocolate. They don't care about that, They just, the guy's done a huge shift, 12 hours. They want to come and sleep, and wake up, shower, and go back to work. So whether you provided cookies or your little tiny shampoos, they don't care about that. So yeah, just know your guest profile and know what they care about, because you will be spending money on unnecessary things. So yeah, that's top tip for you there. Number 8 is the welcome guide. So this welcome guide could be like a digital book. So it could be a PDF, which is digital. You send them a link, they go through the welcome guide, or it could be a hard copy, which is physically a hard copy in the property. So it's got everything like your emergency contacts, your user manuals, things which you think other people need to have instructions to use them, how to turn on the TV, where the internet is, all these things. You'll be surprised, like, because don't forget your properties is like a WhatsApp. So you're getting international people coming in as well. So other international people, they don't use the same systems as we use in the United Kingdom. So you just need to think outside the box and make everything user friendly. It's like, I call it a dummy's guide, for a guest, or dummies, but it's like you want like to provide the information. Well, if you don't provide the information, you will get calls, you will get phone calls, messages, people asking like all these things. So you just want to mitigate you getting those phone calls. You just want to mitigate you getting those messages. So number 9 is safety features. You just want to ensure like they're aware of the smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and obviously these things, the guests should be aware that they're there and what to do when it goes off, etc. So obviously you need to install these. Like, safety is a big thing, and this is what's driving the licenses in Scotland. It's all about safety because they want Airbnb properties to be safe. So smoke alarms, fire alarms, all these kind of safety things, fire doors, they need to be there in your properties. Yeah, fire blankets, etc. Yeah, the last one is your cleaning supplies. Yes, the cleaning supplies are for the cleaners, but you want to leave out some for the guests. Just think about if you get a guest who's staying there for a long term, for a month, 2 months, or, and they don't have any cleaning supplies, just provide these things, provide washing up liquid, dishwashers, washing machine, tablets, and all that kind of stuff. So provide those things to your guest. So yeah, that's it on phase 4. The next phase we're going to go into is phase 5. Phase 5, listing and marketing. So here are the checkpoints we're going to go through. Airbnb listing, booking.com listing, channel manager, which is up listing, that's the one I use, dynamic pricing tool, which is Wheelhouse, that's the one I use. So Wheelhouse, you're familiar with Wheelhouse from the market research website. So when it comes to listing your property, if you've taken the pictures and done all the good stuff, you've done all the 10 things you must do before you actually listing. So you received your folder from your photographers of the pictures you're going to use for your Airbnb listing. So the best place to start off with is actually Airbnb. So Airbnb, you go there, you've got an account with Airbnb, which you've opened, and you go to create a new listing, and you just follow the steps. Creating a new listings, the steps are so easy, and I will make a video about this, so stay tuned on my YouTube channel, and I will create a YouTube video of how to actually list a property on Airbnb. I've got a property which is on the pipeline to be added to my portfolio, so I'll use that as an example. So once you've actually done those steps, is the next thing is you want to tell Airbnb when you've actually listed the property, like you've added your pictures, you've put in the description. So when you're actually doing the description, is you just want to be pretty much like spot on with what the property is about. You want to tell the exact things about the property. So you know what, another thing which you can do here is leverage AI, leverage artificial intelligence tools like Chat GPT-4. If you leverage them, they'll write a description for you. Just write a description for me. You can put in the prompt, write a description for me for a 3-bedroom house, etc. Where, and you can actually tell it up to how many characters. So it will write something, and you can tweak it. So you can say write the best description of an Airbnb listing which you've ever written. So you can make those things, and it will actually write a good description for you, which you can take and put there. but make sure you also read that description, because don't forget, it's a computer which has written this. So you want to also add human touch, everything, reread it, add human touch. That'll work for you. So after doing the description, uploading the pictures, there is another thing which I need to mention here. So you can link your channel manager with your Airbnb listing. So there is the Airbnb way is very, very detailed and is so user friendly. Anyone can follow it, even if you never listed a property. It's just so detailed and so user friendly. You can do that. So once you've done that, you connect your channel manager on Airbnb, and in terms of listing, there's not much to say. It's just the steps which are there they're so you can do it. It's so user friendly and anyone can do it. But the first website to actually start the listing off with is Airbnb. You start your listing with Airbnb. The next one, which you go into after using listing everything on Airbnb, is Booking.com. There is a tip for you. The reason why you do Booking.com next is because Booking.com is got a link to say, do you have this property listed elsewhere? Then you just say yes. And with that, if you said yes to that, you need to copy and paste the Airbnb link into that. So what that happens is it pulls all the data from Airbnb into Booking.com. So the pictures which you've selected, which you've put on Airbnb, Booking.com will have it, because that's your listing. So actually you've killed what? 2 birds with 1 stone. So you've got 2 listings already. But the rest of in terms of pricing, in terms of all this kind of stuff, these steps, I will actually create a video to show you detailed listing of a live listing, which I'm going to do. But when I'm talking about it, it's so hard to describe because it's step by step. Step 1, you do a listing, you list this, and I just follow the steps there, and you will. But keep an eye out on the channel. There will be a video detailing that. And with this Booking.com listing, you won't spend much time actually creating the listing, because you would have leveraged the pool from Airbnb. So you'd have listed your property in 2 platforms. So the third thing which I'll go into is, after Airbnb and Booking.com, you could list your property in other websites, Expedia. There's so many more OTAs. OTA stands for online travel agent. So these are the marketing agencies, the brokers of for you to advertise your property. These platforms take a commission. Don't forget, Airbnb, Booking.com, they don't own the properties. They are just brokers. They are just the middlemen. So for you to list and they advertise you, they show you your properties to the world, for the world to book, is they get a commission of that once you get a booking. So that's how these companies make money. Yeah. And Booking.com, actually, they're very smart, because they've got an incentivization plan. So the more commission you give them, the more they rank your property and they list it out on the first pages. Whereas for Airbnb, it's usually performance review based, etc., for you to be ranking on the first pages. But Booking.com, it is commercial driven. Well, I guess it is a good thing, because if you're gonna give them 25% of your revenue, and they will actually boost your property up. So on those quiet times, you could be doing those little tricks to actually look for more bookings in your property. So once you've listed on Airbnb, Booking.com, where I go to next, number 3, is channel manager. So what does the channel manager do? What is a channel manager? So this is a software or platform which actually manages your property in terms of your calendar, guest communications, and cleaner communications, etc. So it's more like a hub. Yeah. So the good thing about this and why this was created, these channel managers, is to automate things and to remove human intervention on these things. Because imagine if you've listed your property on Airbnb, you've listed your property on Booking.com and other websites as well. Yeah. So if someone books on Airbnb, you used to manually go to Booking.com and block those dates so no one books the same dates on Booking.com and all those other platforms. But whereas with the channel manager, if someone books on Airbnb, it will automatically close the calendar for that particular period in all other platforms. Yeah. So if someone books from the 1st of November to the 14th of November on Airbnb, that 1st of November to the 14th will be closed for on all other platforms. No one else can book. So no one can book on Booking.com, Expedia, VIBO, and all those other platforms. No one can book. So that's the great thing about the channel manager. It does that automatically while you're sleeping. Imagine you get a booking at 2 a.m., at 2 in the morning. You're fast asleep, like even your VAs in the Philippines are sleeping. And if you didn't have a channel manager and, you've been needing to wake up to manually do that. So the channel manager actually helps with that. Yeah. The next thing which the channel manager helps with is guest communication. So someone has booked your property already. You've put like communication prompts, so at the minute someone books, there's a message which goes out. Oh, thank you. Hey, John, thank you for booking our property. We're looking forward to welcoming you on such and such a date. That channel manager, you put the message, it goes automatically. Then after that, if you ask for ID or if you collect deposits, you send another message, oh, can we get this before you check in? The channel manager will send those messages automatically for you, and the guest will be responding, thinking what? They're actually speaking to you, but they are speaking to like a robot, AI, software, everything is just so automated. I love technology. Yeah, it saves a lot of time, and it saves you like human manually intervention, because sometimes we do forget as humans to do other things. But if there is a prompt, if there is something which is going to do that for us, yes, why not? Let's use it. So we've spoke about calendar synchronization. We spoke about guest communication. So with the channel manager as well, so especially this one which we use, you can create your website for direct bookings. So it automatically creates a website based on the listings which you've put to create a website for direct bookings. So if you've got someone who hasn't come through the OTA and they want to book, you send them the website, they'll book, the money comes to Stripe, you connect your payment link, which is Stripe or PayPal or whatever mentioned you use to collect the money. So we use Stripe. Stripe is a very good platform. Yes, they do take a certain percentage of revenue. I think it's 1% or 1.4%, something small like that. But it is actually useful because it does the work for you. So that will be integrated with your Stripe. And the other things which the channel manager does is, so let's say someone has booked your property, the check-in date, and it's got a check-out date. So that channel manager can tell your cleaners, if you've linked your cleaners with the channel manager, it will send a message to your cleaners to say, oh, there is a checkout on such and such a date, and the cleaners can see your calendar, they can see your activities. Yes, you might have told them in the groups or however you communicate with them, but they can also be proactive and see the calendars and receive the messages and see that. So if you've got many listings, also that saves you time of telling each and every cleaner one by one to say, oh, there's a checkout tomorrow, there's a check-in, etc., etc. The cleaners can actually see and delegate the cleaning team accordingly because they've got that calendar to do that work. So that's the good thing about channel manager. I'm an advocate of channel manager no matter what, if you've got one listing, just do a channel manager. Maybe it's not going to be up listing, but most of these channel managers, they work the same way. They've got the same functionalities, but other ones are cheaper. Yes, if you starting off, you can go for the cheaper ones, because things like uplisting are pricey, because they cater for like 5 or more properties, so they usually target, like, because if you've got one property, you'll be paying the same price as someone with 5 properties there. So in the long term, it's worth it, because you can stay with that channel manager, or you can start using the channel manager, and if you scale it up, at least you now know everything about that channel manager. So another thing which is in the channel manager, so let's say you started to manage other people's properties, the people you manage their properties, like, this is management, not the rent or Airbnb arbitrage. So this is like when you get a property from someone, the property is already set up as Airbnb service accommodation, and you just take a commission for managing that. So they can see, you can share the link with them. They can see the calendar. They can see the bookings. There is like that kind of like online landlord portal if you're managing someone's property. So it's always it's like one hub, one software, which I think is a very good thing. So all these links, the link to join Airbnb, the links to join Booking.com, the links to join Uplisting Channel Manager, and the links to join Wheelhouse. I'll add all these links in the description on this video, below this video. So click on them, join them if you haven't joined them. I think, some of them are affiliate links. What it means is probably get a commission for introducing you to it, and you will get some money for actually joining them as well. So I guess it is a win-win. So let's speak about our dynamic pricing tool, Wheelhouse. So these things, dynamic pricing tool, I think it's not a new software, or it's not something new. It's a pricing tool which hotels use it, yes, and this is like more like a hotel business, but airlines use these kind of pricing tools, like it's like a pricing tool which it looks at the marketplace, the events which are happening in that particular area. It just studies the market. So for example, if you come into a particular city and there is an event, you see the pricing tool can detect that, and it will increase the prices, because there is a lot of demand for that kind of thing time. It's like for airlines, if you try to book airlines maybe during school holidays, like the pricing tools already, like, they just go up, so maybe they announce like a bank holiday or like a specific holiday. The minute they announce it, you just see the airline tickets have shot up. So things like that, like even your Uber, you just remember your Uber, like if you're calling your Uber at a certain time, like at peak hours, the prices fluctuate, the prices actually increase. All those things use like dynamic pricing tool, which is based on supply and demand. So if you're operating this Airbnb arbitrage strategy, you want a dynamic pricing tool as well, because if there is a high demand for something, you don't want to be going with your regular rates. You want your rates to increase as well. I'll just give you a quick example of how the dynamic pricing tool actually saved me. So I think it was 2002 or 2001. Not 2022, 2002, 2022 or not, actually 2021, there was a big event in Scotland, and that event was called COP26. So COP26 is like where like all the global leaders come, and they talk about climate change, all the fun stuff about global warming and all that good stuff. So that event was happening here in Glasgow, where I currently reside and where I currently operate some of our Airbnbs. So I didn't know about that event. I had no clue about COP26 coming. But like closer to the time, we started seeing like the council was sorting out things, the roads, the signs, but I was like, damn, what's this COP26? Because I was in the service accommodation networks, and I used to communicate with people. So a lot of people started to manually increase their prices. But I was like, no, I've got what? Dynamic pricing too. And when the people used to increase their prices, my dynamic pricing too was matching their prices. So we ended up getting like bookings for like 1,000, 2,000 pounds per night, because that's how much there was demand. I didn't manipulate those prices. This guy, the dynamic pricing tool, was manipulating those prices. People were booking places like same night rates as how much they were paying in the shot. You know what? I will actually do a video like that one day, because it's actually a big video. Because like if there is a demand for a particular thing, people will pay whatever. So for properties where people normally are paying £100 per night, they were paying 10x that, £1,000 per night. So you were like thinking, wait, what's going on here? I haven't done anything special to this property, but because of the demand, it's increased. It just drives the prices up. Like there's another phrase which one of my favorite online mentors says, where do you put like a hamburger stand? Where would you put a hamburger stand? And the answer is like, yes, next to a starving crowd. So yeah, so it's like that's a concept of what? Of supply and demand. So the hamburger needs to be like where there are hungry people, so you can actually feed the demand. So yeah, so that's a good thing about dynamic pricing too. You can actually start these off because it's like they're not expensive. It's not expensive to have this. You can be paying $20 a month for having a dynamic pricing tool, but it actually does all the work for you. And the good thing about it as well, you can set your minimum rate. So you can set and prompt it to never go below 100 or 120 pounds a night. So like your minimum rate is 120. So it will always be fluctuating above that. And you can set it to be aggressive in the marketplace, or you can set it to be conservative, which is, if you set it to be conservative, it will always be like around your minimum rate, But if you set it to be aggressive, that's the strategy we go for. Like if there is a demand or anything, or a key event which has been a key event which has been announced. You must remember when Beyonce came to Scotland in Edinburgh, like those Airbnbs close to the stadium were just getting booked because people wanted to come and see Beyonce. In America, if there's a Super Bowl event, so like this year in 2024, there's Super Bowl in Las Vegas. So all those property Airbnbs, people will be paying crazy prices because the hotels will be fully booked. People will be wanting to come there, and like the Airbnbs will be oversubscribed. But as an operator, you can just depend on these pricing to actually tell you these dates, because they pull out data, they pull out these data. These are clever tools. They use AI, etc., to pull out this data and manipulate the prices for you. So yes, that's it, folks, for our dynamic pricing tool. I will add the link in the description for you to actually have these tools. Even if you are starting with one property, these are must-have tools. So yes, have your dynamic pricing tool, which I use Wheelhouse. There are other ones, competitors there. So it's a simple Google search, competitors for Wheelhouse. You will find them. I think one of them is like Price Labs or something like that. But from the onset, I've always used Wheelhouse. I like the company. I like the CEO's vision. And so even for channel manager, I've used Uplisting. I like the CEO's vision. And however, they have sold the company to AirDNA. So AirDNA and uplisting have merged together. So that's a powerful. Imagine having like a channel manager and a research platform to merging together like AirDNA but uplisting. So it's going to be exciting in this short-term rental space. Exciting news and exciting things coming, folks. So yeah, now we're going to move on to phase 6. So on phase 6, we're going to speak about something which I call systems, automation, and processes. So this is SAP, So we're going to do the definitions. What are systems? What's automation? What's processes? So all these things, we've spoke about them like throughout phase 1 up until now. But I just want to like put the puzzle together, glue it for you so you can actually see how it actually works in operations. Because like, yes, you've listed your property and all those are things like which are like startups, things which you do for once, but like in operations, these are things which you do daily activities, and like there is automation because you want to like take yourself out of the business, take your virtual assistants out of the business, and let the technology work for you. So what are systems? Systems are organized and interconnected set of components, procedures, and tools that work cohesively to achieve a specific objectives. So those are systems. That's a simple definition of a system. So organized and interconnected set of components. So what's automation? Automation involves the use of technology. So we spoke about technology. You've seen I'm an advocate of technology. I just wanna like an easy life, soft life. That's what they call it. So I use technology where I can. So it involves the use of technology and predefined rules to perform tasks and processes without continuous human intervention. So this is actually good because even technology does make mistakes sometimes, but us humans, we make a lot of mistakes. So if you can remove us and we just leverage this technology, it will be so much better because there are less mistakes which are being made. So processes, what are processes? Processes are a series of structured steps or activities that need to be followed to achieve specific goals or outcomes. So those are like the processes. So that's the whole step, systems, automation, and processes. I'll just show you a screenshot of how actually everything works. I just did this flow chart. I don't know. Hopefully it's clear. So there is a guest booking. So the guest could have booked your property via the OTAs, Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, all those OTAs. So yeah, just get used to the jargon as well. OTA stands for online travel agent. So the guest has booked your property. So once the guest is booked, you get a trigger. So you can get an automated message which goes to the guest to say, oh, thank you for booking. So that's automation, yeah. But like with that automation is part of like the guest communication system, and that guest communication system follows certain processes, like to say the message you send first, the message you send second, third, fourth, fifth. So you see how everything, the SAP is interlinked. Yes, other people do this, but they don't know the definitions and what they're actually doing. But here we're going to go deep into like what it is, systems, automation, and processes. So in this picture here, you can see that guest booking, guest check-in, guest stay experience. So this is like where you message a guest mid-stay or after one night to ask out how everything is going for them, if they're liking their stay, if there's anything wrong, and what can you do to enhance their experience in your property. The next one there is guest checkout. So you send automated messages. All these messages could be need to be automated, and channel manager uplisting will do that for you. But like once the guest replies, and if you want like a dialogue, this is where human intervention comes in, because the guest is like, oh yeah, hi, everything is great, but the light bulb is not working. What can we do? So this is now where you actually if you've got a team of VAs, or if you are working by yourself in this business, then you message the guest to say, oh yeah, I can send someone to quickly come change the light bulb, or also talk to them. Otherwise, we'll be like, oh, do you know where it is? Or I can change it. So I've actually had those few things. That's when I started, we started leaving light bulbs like in the kitchen drawers. So if it's gone, like a light bulb can burn any time. A guest can change it. I mean, these are people who've come to your house at home, far away from home, so they can change your light bulb because it's just gone off, So you just always have to have those kind of spare things, and keep it under the sink. I mean, not under the sink because there could be water there, but if you've got like spare drawers where you can keep extra stuff, light bulbs, batteries, if the remote for the TV goes, because you don't want to be keeping those kind of things in a cupboard, because if it goes and it's in the cleaner's cupboard, you now need to send someone, which is like a big inconvenience. So keep 1 or 2 spare batteries, light bulbs, etc. Because the batteries, you never know when it's going to run out. It doesn't have a meter to say, excuse me, I'm about to finish here. So that's it. So yes, there's another one, cleaners notification. So you've got like your checkout. Once the guest checks out, the cleaners are notified, the cleaners go in. And don't forget, the cleaners also, you've got their systems and processes where as soon as they walk in, they take pictures of the place, they send it to you, or they put it in an app. There are apps which are cleaning apps which do this, or keeping it keep it stupidly simple is just use WhatsApp groups, or if you've got a Slack account, use Slack, so just like they will just send pictures there, and yeah, you see the pictures, and yeah, you don't forget the timestamps just in case if there's anything wrong with those the befores and afters. If the guest has damaged them, you need to send those things to Airbnb. But after a month or 2, you can be deleting those pictures because you don't want to heavy storage as well. Then if there's breakages or anything like that, your cleaners can notify you, or you can notify your maintenance team, or your cleaners can notify your maintenance team. Just depends how big your operations or your company is. But if it's one Airbnb, you will know about this. I mean, the minute it happens, like the cleaner will call you, you call your maintenance guys. So it's always good to have these professionals in your team. So the next thing is just a picture of I took this from Zapier. So they are it is complicated. But even if you're not tech savvy, you don't have to know all this. Some of it's already connected for you naturally with these other platforms like channel managers, Airbnbs. They've connected these things naturally for you. So it's just like a interconnectivity slide, which I wanted to show you to say this is how things are connected. Through social media, your OTAs, your Stripe, your payment plans, etc. So it's not as complicated as it looks, but it does work. Okay, the last phase of this module, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the course. So the last phase is actually scaling. So you've applied everything from phase 1 up until phase 6. You've got your property. You're now a guru, aka guru. Now I'm joking. You've gone and applied like everything you've learned on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, up until phase 6, and you've listed your property is starting to generate your money, and you're like, you know what, this is actually a good business model and I want to replicate this. So you now scale. You're now going for your property number 2, property 3, 4, 5, 6, and the sky is the limit. In fact, there is no limit. The only limit is in your mindset, you only limit yourself. So you can scale up to whatever number you want, and obviously there is pacing as well, because for each stage there are different challenges, there are different ways of doing things. So we spoke about if you've got many units, you will be thinking of hiring hiring leaner and having like in-house maintenance team, in-house cleaners. You could do that, or even outsource the cleaners. So at scale up, the most important thing at scale up is your team. So we're gonna go through a checkpoint of team. Then the last checkpoint is rinse and repeat phase 1 to 6. So yeah, so at scale up, it's now like team. So you're actually now running a big company, like with the big boys and girls. So like having a powerful team. So if you're scaling up, depending on how many units you're scaling up to, but let me go with stages. So you've got your first property, and your next target is to get 5. I mean, that scaling up to 5 is just rinsing and repeating, using the same team, using the same leverage team which you've got, like your cleaners, your handyman, etc. You can do that up to 5. When it comes from 5 up to 10, you might need to be adding an extra handyman there and adding an extra cleaner if you're using an independent cleaner. So it's like you're increasing people in your team, but obviously all these people are still working for you or working with you on like a time basis, or you just leveraging their job basis. So you pay them as of when they do the job. But once you get and you've got your VA in the Philippines or whichever country where you find your VA, because like I say, like these countries are usually good for that, because you'll be paying them $5 etc. an hour, and if someone is working 5 hours a week for you, that's like $25, which is next to nothing, compared to the amount of work which they'll be doing for you. So yeah, so your team, when you get to these numbers, like you're very, very, it's very, very important to have a good team, and it's very important to work with like other providers as close as possible, like it's a part of a team. It's been great, like however long this course is. It's been great shooting this, sharing my experiences, sharing my knowledge, sharing what I do as an active operator. So I'm also learning, but like everything which I do, there are things which are coming up. There are things which are always new. So it's an ever evolving industry, And if someone says they're an expert in this industry, I'll pull them up and tell them they're lying, because things change all the time. There's new things which you learn. But however, we can learn as much as we want, etc. But one thing which I like to finish off with is knowledge is power, but execution trumps knowledge. So it's what you do from here that will matter. So it's what you do with this information. I've added a lot of bonuses in the description, and if you want the things which I said I will share with you, just message me or comment. Actually, comment the word bonuses, and for each and every person who comment your question and comment the word bonuses, and I will email them to you. I will send them to you to your inbox. But knowledge is power, but execution trumps knowledge. So it's what you do from here that will matter. So before I finish off, I'll wrap it off. So just check out all the links in the description. And I've got a community called Airbnb Mastery Blueprint. So this community is housed in a platform called School. School is a platform which is owned by Sam Owens and Alex Moses. So if you're in the entrepreneurial space, you definitely know these top entrepreneurs in the education info products business. So yes, so the School. So if you want to join this platform, there is a link which I've added in the description. Just click on the link and join the platform. I'll welcome you there. So there will be it's a community of like-minded people. People who are like starting off in their Airbnb journey. They've got 1, 2 properties, etc. And some of them have got none. They just want to learn how to get their first property and get that confidence from first property to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and become like whatever, one of these gurus with 100+ properties. But everything always starts small. Everything always starts with baby steps. And what's the better way to learn from the actual people who are doing this, actual people who are in the trenches and doing this. Thank you so much for watching this course. And if you've actually watched till this far, you're part of my community. So thank you so much. You're part of me. So I really appreciate it. So what I really want you to do now is pull the trigger and take action, my friends. Let's win together.